How's it going, Virgo community? Soul Tiger is here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So let me start this off by saying thank you for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Keep in mind that this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, let me be upfront and just let you know right away, this is not Love Tarot. This channel is geared around self-empowerment, and what that means to me is us building the stepping stones to getting closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So Virgo, let's go ahead and get started with the vibe here. I feel like you definitely have an aunt or an uncle here that chimed in at the end, because there's a quote here from them. And it made me almost feel like I'm speaking to an athlete. So maybe this Virgo likes sports in this story. Maybe they're very athletic, or maybe they're just a really big sports fan. So success can be a mindset. Learning how to see your success can be something that sets you free from the restrictions of others' opinions. Look at all the great ones in history who had to rise above everyone around them, rise above these others' opinions to reach their goals, to reach their dreams. Trust me, Virgo, a lot of people are going to start with you many different times throughout your journey, but not many. And maybe just one, if you're lucky, just one will be there at the end with you. Loyalty is a game that could leave you with a broken heart when you are surrounded by the wrong people. Just know what makes you a real one, what sets you apart from the rest, is how much you believe and what you're grinding towards, especially on the days you question why you are still committed. Learn not to depend on others' loyalty. Learn how to depend on your loyalty. That's a big one. That is a big one. You got to learn how to depend on yourself and being committed, holding yourself accountable for being committed even on the days that you don't want to. All of us, Virgo, have those days. All of us. And this comes in from an aunt or an uncle type of energy. And I quote, "That's what separates the winners from the losers." And they're talking again about that level of commitment, showing up on the days that you don't want to show up. You don't want to show up, showing up on the days when the person you thought was supposed to be there with you doing it, and they don't bailed on you. No, you don't bail on your commitment. Show up, because that's what's going to separate you from these people. That's what's going to get you to your success. A lot of us worry about people and them showing up with us. A lot of people aren't that committed. A lot of people don't have the visions that we have. A lot of people don't have the goals that we have. You have to remember that, Virgo. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the introduction here. What is it that needs to come out for the introduction? Ancestors, spirit guides, what is it? Angels, that needs to come out for this introduction? Power. You're at odds ends with it and you don't see it within yourself. You don't feel like you have it. It could be that you're depending on others to show up with you in order to feel like you have it. Let's see what else wants to come out. Here we are. change. This is definitely something that you're feeling. It could be a lot of chaos around you, which is pushing for you to change something in your environment. Discernment. This is going to be the biggest key right here when you're navigating this situation with whoever, whatever it is. Honestly, when I was doing the cleansing of the cards and bringing in divine and universal energy specifically, I asked for discernment because I'm not going to lie, this is my first story today. So I'm running a little low on energy. So I was like, please let me have discernment so I can feel the most of what's coming in and making sure that I am interpreting it to the highest. So having discernment, there's a big power in that, especially when we're navigating things, when we're trying to do things better for ourselves, when we're trying to get to certain goals, certain dreams. All right. Ooh, this one's at a distance. You're at a distance with your path. That's where I believe that loyalty, when I was mentioning that loyalty could be a game of heartache or heartbreak when you're surrounded by the wrong people. This card right here could indicate that you may need to level up. You might have to surpass the level of where you're at, who you've been around, to get to where you gotta go. Let's see what else needs to come out for the Virgo. Extremes. You could be stressed out to where it's affecting your health. You're having a little restlessness at night. Then we have gratitude in reverse. I'm trying to get this to focus on it a little bit. There we go. Gratitude in reverse. I mean, when people are not coming with us, people are not showing up, it definitely doesn't make us thankful for what we're working towards. It definitely makes us feel like what we're working towards is weighing a little bit heavier. How can we be grateful for having our loyalty to this? Oh, here we go. Masculine energy. Now, with masculine energy, I just don't always tie it to the image. I tie it to the tendencies. And see, with this in this position, you're confused on the masculine tendencies. And when they're in a positive aspect, it's exploration, adventure, progress, and development. And right here, you could be facing extremes with yourself, with others that are having you stressed, that are making you feel the heat of this commitment of having to rise up, having to get up and do something, having to pave the way for this commitment, whatever this goal is, whatever it is that you're working on here. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and get started with the present. You have my curiosity, Virgo. So, ancestors and divine, what is it that needs to come out? So we have the World card, which is Saturn. Saturn talks about seeking security, but it also talks about resisting change. This falls under the change. It falls under the extremes. It falls under the gratitude. That's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there. I've been there where people are starting with me on things, especially when it comes to like a fitness journey or when you're embarking on a new kind of thing where you're trying to improve yourself. That is hard. A lot of people fall off of those because of whoever's not showing up with them. And that's where it talks about, you know, your loyalty to it depends on you. Don't depend on others to be loyal to it. You have to depend on you to be loyal to it. And that could be where this change is happening, seeing that you don't need others to do it with you, seeing that you can do it yourself. What else needs to come out? Four of Cups. I think these Four of Cups here, it definitely talks about the emotional stuff. You know, you're kind of waiting on something. You're hoping something new comes in. But is that really having discernment if you're not getting up and making the moves you need to do? I think that's why this discernment is here, why this extremes is here as well. Here we go. Now we have something coming in. We have this Knight of Cups followed by the King of Swords. Ooh, wanting you to handle something. And the Four of Pentacles. Stuff is going to be out of your control. You have to understand that. I mean, people are going to have their little emotional days. People are going to have their reasons as to why they can't show up. Alright, those reasons don't have to intrude on your reasons. I really feel like you want others to feel the same way you feel. You would like them to feel the same way you feel. And again, that comes down to the loyalty to the dream. But this is out of your control. This is not something that you can make them be loyal to. It's only something that you can do for you, Virgo. Woo-hoo-hoo. But if I try really hard, maybe I can make it happen. Then what happens with that? If you try really hard and you make it happen, then you have somebody that you're dragging along with you who doesn't want to do anything. Oh, I think we're all guilty of this. I think we are all guilty of this at some point in our lives, Virgo, because I don't know why that put a little spark under me, but it did. Think about how many times you wanted to go do something, but you didn't want to go do it by yourself. So you called up whoever, whatever, got them on the line and was like, come on, let's do it. I'll buy you a drink. I'll buy your ticket. I'll do whatever, you know, just come with me. And if you ever brought the wrong person out, it kind of sucks. They kind of like tone down the vibration that you have of where you're excited. It doesn't make it that enjoyable because they're just sitting there not really wanting to have anything to do with it. And I really think that you have to stop wanting to drag people along with you. For me, honestly, here we go, Ace of Swords. So this might be something to talk about here. So what happens is when we get committed to something that we're really close with, something that feels like a purpose to us, something that is a calling for us, it could be hard because others don't feel this same calling. They're not as committed. Remember, they don't see the dream like you see it. So you're stuck sometimes trying to drag people along with you. But the whole thing is, with you dragging these people along with you, it feels like you're holding yourself back, but you're also starting to confuse yourself on how much you want to work towards it. Think about it. We've seen this happen before. If you're here with me listening to this, then you are a little bit higher evolved than the normal person. So you should be able to understand this, Virgo. You should be able to reach back in your memory to a time when you were doing a group thing. And say you had one part of the group who was feeling one way. and then you as an individual felt another way. And everyone, you notice, started to side with the group type of mentality because everybody else was going along with it. You know, there's always that safety in numbers kind of thing. But when you stuck to what you were sticking to, and when it started to seem right to others and others felt like they were in the wrong, how easy it was to start to sway them to the other side. And it wasn't that you were trying to sway them, you're just bringing in another type of truth, another view, another perspective. But people can be swayed very, very easy. This is why I say not many people have the goals and dreams that you do. Some people are just there to kind of go along with the program for whatever's in at that moment. Whatever feels the best to agree with, I should say. And I feel like you have a lot of kind of people that are in that kind of mentality. You might be the little more higher evolved in this group. That's what I'm getting. These people could want to reach for a truth, but at the same time, they don't want it. We've all had friends like that who don't want to know the truth. They really don't. They're happy believing the lie that they're believing. Ooh. Then we have the Black Numan come out. Corrosion, void. It's talking about the ending of something here, but it's in reverse. So this tells me with this King of Swords, there's something that you're not really getting a good discerning kind of view on. There's something here that you're really afraid to let go. There's something that you're afraid to move forward from. It could be individuals. This comfort zone here where you have been. But these others, again, don't have the same goal as you. And with that being said, we have this Eight of Wands. Yeah, with that, I mean, talking about they don't have the same goal. Their goals are entangling. There's no real movement with the Eight of Wands in reverse. We also have the Strength here. Feeling like you have to hold on to something. But this something is not your balance. It's not feeding you. It's not pouring into your cups. Again, this is something that you're trying to force holding on to. And then I have the Magician here on this Knight of Cups, which the Magician represents Virgo. You're so worried about these others, Virgo. You're so worried about what these others are thinking. It could be what these others are saying. It could be even what these others are reaching to. I think it's the social norms that you're worried about. I think, and this is what I heard when I was dialing into this frequency, is being afraid of going against the grain with something. That's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, there is that mentality that there's safety in numbers. So, I mean, if you agree with everyone else, then you're not targeted by others who are trying to make you feel a certain way because you're not going with their program. That does happen too. But there's just something here about these others that you're worried about. I'm curious. What does this Magician want to express? I get clarity cards for the Magician here. Ooh. Clarity cards for the Magician. Ooh, we get one. Ooh la la la. The Three of Wands. You're confused. If, let's say you were to be loyal to what you're doing, and you said, forget the rest. They don't have that vision. They don't have that idea. They over here want to be stuck on stupid. Excuse me, I don't know if they're stuck on stupid, but I'm just going to say that. The whole thing is, you're not sure You're not sure about doing this all on your own. That's what it is, because look at this. You got this person who is looking at this bigger picture by themselves. Having these 3 wands stacked around them. They did that by themselves. No one else is there. You know, nobody else is wanting to go on this adventure. Nobody else is overlooking this. Just this one person. And I feel like this is what this magician is also expressing here. You've learned so much. You've came so far. But others aren't keeping up with you. Others don't want to keep up with you. That's what's being expressed here. I'm hearing one more card for the present. What else needs to come out for the present for the Gemini frequency? What else? Ooh. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, remember I keep telling you, these others, Gemini. This could honestly be a contract that you have with yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard of how we sign these contracts, these agreements, whatever, on a spiritual level before we come into here, and that we say, hey, we're willing to go through this, we're willing to go through that, we're willing to go through this so that we can learn these lessons. This is kind of coming out like that. Usually with the 3 of Pentacles, you have 3 people in this agreement working together, but here you have yourself in this agreement working with yourself. Going within yourself, filling out how you're feeling. Staying in tune with the divine and your path, your purpose. Being able to grow in that. Being able to have a heart chakra that is well in balance. And a heart chakra that's well in balance is forgiveness, emotional balance, harmony, love, and compassion for what they're doing and where they are going. This is something you don't know. This is something you don't see. Ooh-wee. So let's go ahead into the block here. Angels of protection. Help protect us as we navigate the block here. For the Gemini frequency. I don't know. I'm looking at this Strength card and I'm wondering if you are just waiting for other people to validate where you're going. Like if another person does this with you, then you know you're on the right track. That's kind of like what I'm feeling here. If nobody else is interested, then are you really on the right track? It's like if nobody else is interested, you're starting to doubt where you're meant to go, where you're meant to be, what your purpose is. Angels of protection. What is it that needs to come out for the block? Let's see. Ooh, 2 cards here. The Hermit. Oh, that's also your card, I believe. Is the Hermit the Virgo card? I want to say so. Let's see. Yep. So, for some reason, you're trusting others. You're trusting others with the 5 of Swords. You don't know how to put them down. I think you keep putting yourself down instead of letting these others go. So over trusting of others kind of thing. What is the truth here? I almost called you Gemini. What is the truth here, Virgo? What is the truth? What is it that you have to go within yourself? Not within these others, but within yourself to see what's really happening here. Then I have the 4 of Swords. Stuck. What is it that you're stuck on, Virgo? 7 of Pentacles. how you have been working on things, how things have been working out. But another thing you're not seeing is that all these things are in the Eight of Swords, leaving you tied up. Tied up. Almost like what I'm hearing is the vulture just picking at your bones. Ooh, excuse me if that's a little too grotesque. But that's the image that I'm receiving here when you're depending on these others. Because if it's a group mentality, the group mentality always breaks down. You got to remember, everybody's in the group for a selfish purpose, and that purpose a lot of times is self-preservation. And a lot of people feel like there is more security in more numbers. But I don't know if you remember that saying that they used to tell the kids back in the day when the parents would talk to their kids and the kid's friend was doing something dumb, and they're like, little Timmy, well, if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? That's that kind of thing. And so what I'm getting at is, if these friends are holding themselves back, these friends are hurting themselves in some kind of way, say they're doing drugs or something, are you going to continue to do that? Are you going to continue to do what they do so that you can stay here with them, kind of energy? Because I get the vultures are going to be picking at your bones, because again, they're all in it for themselves. And as soon as they find you weak enough, yeah, they're going to pick at you. They're going to take whatever they can from you, again, because it's all about that self-preservation for them, thinking about themselves. That's why they're in that group mentality, trying to protect themselves. You have to be careful with that, Virgo. You have to be careful. Loyalty can be a wonderful thing to have from people, but from the people who have good hearts, from the people who are operating in love, light, and compassion, from people who have their own goals, their own dreams of making it big. If not, you come into this energy where you end up being a big fish in a little pond. And you never can really, really, really reach that growth. You can never really reach another area where there's other big fish that are doing the thing that you're doing, kind of thing. Then I have this sun here in reverse that you're not seeing. The sun is the I will kind of energy with Leo here. And this falls on this Four of Swords. Again, this stuck energy. Not feeling like you have this will. Not feeling like you have this power to do this. This is where you're taking care of business like the King of Pentacles. You know, you're trying to show up good, you know, because that's the good offering to do emotionally. That's how you support everyone. But I just don't feel like everybody's supporting you. I feel like when it comes down to taking care of business, you're the one who takes care of business in the group. I don't feel like anybody else does. I mean, would this be working if you weren't here? You have to ask yourself that. Hold on. Alright, let's see what else needs to come out. Yep, here comes this Three of Pentacles again. Three of Pentacles. Remember how I told you if your group here was doing a whole bunch of bad stuff, would you do it too just to stick around them? That's exactly what this lesson is here. Is if you can get out of this low frequency of whatever this is. Why do I say that? Because look, we have the Three of Pentacles coming back up, but we also have the Devil card here. Look at how these two are attached to that one. And you have another one behind here. Look at more than one here in this collaboration. Remember we talked about that? The only way you're going to get through this type of lesson was going to have to be, you know, with these others, realizing what you want for success, realizing how you have been successful. Could be also realizing that what I'm hearing is there's actually no loyalty here in a sense. I hear that these people, again, are very selfish, very self-driven. It could be learning about what loyalty means to you type of energy here in this lesson. Then we have this Three of Cups. I told you, you trust in these others, and these others aren't ones to celebrate with. I see is the ancestors shaking their head and shaking their head and shaking their head. There's something weird here. There is something really weird in their energy, though. It's definitely some kind of intoxicants here. I can definitely say that. But what the exact intoxicant is, it's different. It's not, I don't want to say it's like the average type of stuff. It could be a mixture of things. But for some reason, you've been trusting these ones who are not even of sober mind more than you're trusting yourself. That's crazy. That is crazy. And why is it? Why? Why? Because a Knight of Wands. Who is this Knight of Wands here, Virgo? Is this Knight of Wands you and your passions and what you believe? I'm confused with this Knight of Wands. What is this Knight of Wands here? Clarify this Knight of Wands. There it is. This Knight of Wands is you. This Knight of Wands is cleared by the Lover's card here. Physical beauty, a beautiful soul, beginning of a romance, temptation, attraction, sexuality, lust, and love. In order for a relationship to work, you must leave your parents. Represents a period of good times, close friendships, and adventures. An important decision must be made. There's somebody here in this group you care about. This could be the person that you want to drag along with you. That's who this is who this is about. This is why you're holding yourself back. There could be, again, somebody who's here with you. See how there's those two people that you want to save. But the whole thing is, are you going to lose yourself trying to save them from whatever this is? A lot of times you want to save people, but the best way to save a lot of people is through your example. Because through your example, you can show others that it's possible, that things can change, that you can go to goals, you can go to dreams. And if you really commit to them, stuff is going to work out as long as you apply yourself. No matter what kind of history, no matter what has happened in the past or with whoever, you still have a chance to get going where you need to get going type of thing. I think that is something that you could definitely show whoever this is. But this person, remember, they're choosing to show up in a sense. That's what I'm feeling, is they're choosing to be here in a sense. And you can maybe not understand why they choose to be there. This may be something that they have to go through with themselves, to where They stop sitting back and just watching what's happening, and they need to get up and do something themselves for themselves, Virgo. You have a very big heart here. Very big heart. And as we say that, look at that, the Three of Swords. Don't let your big heart be the thing that drives you to the deceit. That drives you to the undoing of your beliefs. That corrupts you from being a good person to a bad person. A trickster, a manipulator, a shapeshifter. You got to remember where you're at is a very intoxicating type of energy. And this energy is not the good type of intoxicating energy. This energy is one, how do I describe it? It's like a leeching energy. It's a very leeching energy. What I can give you is an example. I can give you this example. I have a situation that's happening with a fellow Scorpio I know. This fellow Scorpio I know I care about a lot, but they don't care about themselves. And I've actually had to stop hanging around them because I realized I couldn't save them from their choices. This Scorpio is not the same person I knew once before. This Scorpio has led themselves down a very, very dark path, and it was because of a love for another. And probably in their mind, the Scorpio thought that they were going to save this other. But what ended up happening is, again, dark energy. Think of it like a virus. Once it gets in and it takes hold and you don't do things to cleanse it out, and that's again a tuning into your beliefs, a tuning into higher up energy, your commitments and stuff like that. It's about the way you talk about yourself and all that stuff. When you start to basically make yourself spiritually weak, that's when it starts to infest in you. And that's where you start to become of birds of a feather. And it isn't just getting in where you fit in, it's making yourself fit in a sense, because you've opened yourself to, again, spiritually weakening yourself and allowing this infectious energy to come in that's a dark energy. And now this person, this Scorpio, they don't even know what the meaning of love is anymore. It's been so tainted and so twisted in this relationship that they're in. And I talked to a fellow Capricorn about them and stuff like that, and just some of the things that this Capricorn, you know, lets me know about them, because this is the only way I can check in on this energy. I've told them that's not love. What this person is going through, what they're saying is love, that is not love. And when this Capricorn lets me know, when this energy has this other influence, their lover, we'll call them, that this person, their attitude, the way they speak and all that, it gets more crueler, it gets more harsh, it gets more hateful when they are around that lover. And you have to realize that those energies are very intoxicating. When we're self-sacrificing for somebody that we care about, doesn't have to be a lover. It could be a cousin, it could be a friend, it could be a co-worker, who the hell ever. When you keep putting yourself in that frequency, on that freaking level, it gets infectious. And it starts to twist you up. It starts to alter you, unless you know how to cleanse yourself from it. And one of the biggest things about cleansing yourself from situations like that is sometimes you have to let it go. You have to give it to the divine. You have to let it go And you have to believe in you. You have to do for you. That's a part of you stepping into your place of power. It's a part of you finding your truth, your meaning to your purpose and your path in this lifetime. It's also cleaning up that communication between yourself and a higher up energy that resides in yourself. This is definitely following the new moon in Gemini and full moon in Sagittarius type of energy. If you want to check out a little bit more deeper into how the new moon and the full moon play into this, go check out my new moon, full moon interpretation. But this is definitely, you got to search for the meaning here and come to your truth. And being able to walk with you. Not feeling bad for being able to rise up and level up on your path and wanting to do something different. But also not feeling guilty for leaving somebody behind who didn't want to change, who didn't want to do something different. It's a lot. That is a lot. I'm not going to lie, that person, that Scorpio I was speaking about just now, I have the door fully closed to that person. I will not open that door for them again because of how much they became infected with that dark negative energy. They're not the person that I knew once before. And I'll tell you what, me following my intuition on what I felt and what's happening now 5-10 years almost later is I was right. I was right to walk away from them. I was right to not have my children around them. I protected myself and I protected my family. So really, really go within. Have those talks with yourself. You know, don't be hard on yourself for wanting to improve, wanting to do something more. The last card that falls out is the 5 of Cups here. It's gonna hurt. It is gonna hurt. It always hurts when you have to walk away from people who are choosing to be in bad situations. It's always hurts. It still hurts. I'm not going to lie. 5-10 years later on with this Scorpio and looking at what they're doing to their lives and what they're continuing to do to their lives. It hurts. And it will always hurt as long as you care. That is a part of the human experience. Just know it hurts because you care. And you know what? You may care more than what this person cares. Just know that that happens too. But you can't let that be the thing that stops you from succeeding. Is somebody else failing, somebody else not wanting to do for them. No. This is why this is a contract with yourself. And getting out of being stuck with these others. Because these others aren't good for you, whoever this is, person, places, or things. This is a lot. This is a lot, Virgo, but what I can tell you in full confidence, if you keep to that loyalty to your dreams, to what you're working towards, 5-10 years from now, things are going to work out for you. Things are going to be different. They may be the same for this person here. They may not change. They may not do anything. Or maybe you set an example to where they see it is possible. I can't predict that future. I wouldn't even dare to. I don't like to reach that far ahead. On some things. I'm not going to lie. There are some things I'm like, Mr. Right Now coming in at me. Let me do a quick energy. Nope. I already see it. No. But what this is it's definitely going to get you more in tune to yourself and tuned into the higher up guiding energies that you have naturally within you from the divine. So it is a hard journey. This one is a hard one. But if you do it, if you commit yourself to passing this lesson and learning what you need to learn, your hard work will pay off for you. I can't say it'll pay off for them because they're not doing anything, but for you it will. And you may just sit back and say you made the best decision. Being able to do something for yourself, staying committed to yourself, staying committed to your dreams, staying committed to what you're loyal to, opposed to just flaking on your dreams, like this crowd here has flaked on their dreams. All right, Virgo community. So we have a real simple conclusion here. These haven't been brought out for a little bit, but definitely they want to be brought out for this story. This is the White Light Oracle here. What I feel like is definitely some reconfirmation for the Virgo in this story is going to come out via this deck. So I'm not looking to really get a bunch of positive messages, opposed to wanting to get more of the reconfirming messages for you, because I don't think you really need these positive messages. You need reconfirming messages, just letting you know what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're being guided to. It's all for a reason, it's all for a purpose, it's all things that you know you're receiving signs for in your immediate environment. So let's see what the reconfirming messages are gonna be. Divine and universal energy. Thank you so much for being here. What are gonna be the reconfirming messages here for the Virgo frequency? What is it? What is it? The first one is gonna be patience. This is going to be your biggest one on this journey, is having patience with yourself, having patience with others, especially when they want to suck you back into this flaky group. When they want you to be a little frosted flake with them, because they're doing something here. It's not of soberness, I know that. Lots of patience is what's going to be needed here, Virgo. So let's see what we have here. I forgot to bring out my book here. So the first reconfirming message comes in at number 31. Sha'ak Teapat of Seahorse. Look at that fast movement. I feel like this is a definitely take action type of card. Let's see, 31 here. As you embrace your inner essence, you will be at peace with who you are, including your vulnerability, and no longer see the need to conform to social ideas which have no true resonance for your heart. You are encouraged to trust your intuitive recognition of which environments and relationships harmonize well with you, supporting your spiritual growth and well-being on all levels. You have the innate capacity to manifest. Relax, and you shall attract all you need. I'm telling you, put in the work, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there, but you have to understand that sometimes we gotta let people go, we gotta let certain social groups go. All right. This is going to be the last 2 cards here. So we're going to be going on the 333s. Keep faith. Seek guidance from your guides. So what we have here is number 11. Sacred Scar. It's a lot of tuning into this heart. A lot of tuning into the soul being, really filling out how you feel. And I feel like taking your time with it type of energy. Don't rush it. Because there is going to be a point where this is going to be a little bit of a healing process too. Because it hurts to let go of people. Especially when we really, really, really care about them. One of the hardest things to do in life is to walk away from people we care about. That's one of the hardest things to do. Your inner and outer scars are marks of your soul's courage. They are signs of strength and survival, of your willingness to be alive. The sacred scar speaks of that which once caused pain being transformed into higher knowledge and inner power. Trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You can trust your healing process and in the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. You are strong and you shall flourish on all levels. Look at that. These levels. I'm telling you, these levels. You're about to level up. You are about to level up if you choose to. Now, the last card here is called Bath Coal, number 8. Oh, we all feel a little crazy when we're going to our truths. Even our truths can feel a little crazy. Even when we're starting to tune into the divine energy, you can still feel a little crazy. That's okay. That's a part of, really filling out what you want to believe in, why you're being guided to believe in stuff. Number 8, Bath Coal. Eschew complicated explanations as you seek the simplicity of the deepest truth of your heart. Gently but firmly cast aside that which does not resonate as being true for your heart. Focus upon and speak from a higher spiritual perspective. All prayers are answered at the perfect time and in the perfect way. You have a powerful voice which can foster healing and wisdom on our planet. Oh, what did I say? You making those moves to get to your dreams and goals could put you in a position where you're going to teach. You could teach one person, you could teach more than one person. I'm not sure how you're going to do it. For me, myself, I teach people in different ways. Here, I was led to do this channel because of how I speak and how I speak upon the things that I've learned. When I'm at work, I work with people's bodies. I work with their energy, and I speak upon that and all the things that I've learned there. And there's people there that have never heard the information that I've given them because they haven't went through what I've went through. A lot of the things that I speak upon or about are from a lot of past things that I've been through. Just know that. A lot of people that we watch, say on the TED Talks or on something inspirational, are people who are retelling their stories. There's stories where there was trials, there was errors, there was faults, there was failures, there was successes, there was wins, there was losses. Losses of people, losses of places, losses of what they expected to be there, but wasn't there in the end. But one thing they kept true to was that dream, that goal, that vision, that purpose that they felt. So just know there's a higher up purpose on this lesson on why you're going to go through it and why it's a solo kind of contract. Just know that. Have faith, believe. Your confirmation messages are here and being brought out using the white light oracle by the divine and universal energy, Virgo. Your guides, this higher up energy, they believe in you. Now it's time that you believe in you. All right, Virgo, this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and your energy. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out with all these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.